Let's get more reaction to the news. Liz Truss has resigned as Prime Minister. Richard Thomson, SNP MP for Gordon, thank you for waiting patiently on the line to react to this breaking news. Were you surprised that she went today?
No, it's been quite clear that her authority has been slipping away, over several weeks now, but particularly in the last few days. When MPs returned to Westminster at the start of the week on Monday, it was clear that she had some major hurdles to overcome in terms of the events of the week. And the shambolic scenes that we saw last night, I think, are just what's finished it off, because not only has she been left without a purpose in terms of not being able to deliver on the mandate that got her into that position in the first place from Conservative Party members, it's quite clear that she's lost all authority within her parliamentary party, and she's incapable of governing the party and incapable of governing the country as a whole. And it was quite clear that something was going to have to give, and it's no surprise that it's happened today.
Well, you know that the process to find a replacement is going to be much shorter than the leadership race that Liz Truss was involved in. Perhaps we will know by next Friday, a week tomorrow, who the next PM is. Who do you think will get the role?
I honestly don't know, and I wouldn't like to try and predict the state of mind of the Conservative Party in the Commons at the moment, because it seems to be split in so many different directions. But while the Conservatives are going through that, that's another week that we're not talking as we need to about the problems around the cost of living crisis, the state of the economy, the problems of the Northern Ireland Protocol. But as an aside, Liz Truss, of course, famously said that she would ignore Scotland's First Minister, Nicola Sturgeon, while she was campaigning for the job. I asked a question of the Leader of the House on Monday if the Prime Minister would be in power enough, long enough to be able to make that first phone call as Prime Minister to the Scottish First Minister, and the answer to that today is clearly not. So, we're going to have there will be no formal dialogue between the First Ministers of Scotland and Wales and this Prime Minister, and it will have to wait until the next one. So I hope that whoever it is adopts a more respectful attitude towards the other leaders of governments in these islands.
Does it concern you as to whoever does get the keys to number 10 next week, that you don't know what their mandate is, what their vision is, what direction they're going to take the country in?
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, under the unwritten constitutional rules that we work in, of course, there's nothing legally wrong with what the Conservatives are about to do, because the Prime Minister is whoever commands the support of the majority of the House of Commons. But we're getting so far away from any kind of mandate that the Conservatives could legitimately claim to have won in December 2019 election, whether it was to get Brexit done or anything else now. And quite frankly, whoever comes in will not have a shred of authority in the electorate at large. And I think it just builds the pressure to have a general election. We need to hit the reset button on this shambles of a government and allow people to choose who it is that they wish to represent them in a new parliament.
And how will you remember the shortest serving Prime Minister in British history?
I'll be remembering it as having to pinch myself to wonder whether or not it really happened. It will be, I think she's relegated to being one of those pub quiz questions in about 10 years' time. Whenever she's remembered, it'll only be for the bad reasons of tanking the economy and making promises that she was incapable of keeping, and just plunging her party into absolute chaos. The one thing I think we can be grateful to her for is that she's shown up that not only could she not deliver her mandate that she campaigned on in terms of Brexit and the economy, I think it's increasingly clear that there's nobody can, because it's undeliverable. And if this does help to press a reset button on not just on this Parliament, but in terms of the political debate going forward, then she will have perhaps unwittingly provided a service.